Shalom, Kol Aloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Racha Kodash Shan Yikubad Gadwala Rekwab Zequanyam Nawa Wa Shalayakim Nawa. That's double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Wa Barakim Labakaryim, Shaliyasharala. That's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. Just wanted to make a quick video concerning what's happening over there in California. And basically, as you can see, retail theft is becoming the norm. And it's all due to this bill that was passed in May. And so I have 2 TikTok videos that I want to play showcasing the theft that's happening very regularly over there now. And so right on the screen it says, new California bill prevents employers from mandating workers to confront shoplifters. And so basically this bill it's in a way condoning theft, and it's influencing people to go out there to these retail stores and to steal, because they know that employers, meaning this video is of a Nike store, so the people working in the Nike store, the managers, cannot mandate the workers to confront these shoplifters. And who would want to anyway? I mean, you're working at a retail store or any store, grocery store, wherever, and people are stealing. You're just a cashier. You're just checking people out. You're not there to make anybody, stop stealing. It's not your job. And so now they're not required to do so, and therefore theft has been on the rise, especially in retail shops in California. It's becoming the new norm, and it's basically a world that Esau Edom is trying to create, because remember, this man wants to implement his beast system, his new world order, and that begins with putting a micro CHIP inside of everyone. And so in order to establish that fully, he has to create some kind of chaos, and then out of the chaos he gives an order. He creates order, or aka the solution. So order out of chaos, meaning he provides the solution, and he also is going to bring in the problem. So anyway, we'll watch both of these videos, and then we'll jump right to some scriptures to bring the prophecy to life.
I'm in shock. Look, what? Oh my good loving. I'm in shock. They young as hell. They got trash bags in their pockets. They really taking the whole store security.
Why the worker looking at them?
Only in the fucking Nike store in Watts will the kids come in and rob, and they don't do absolutely nothing. They are filling up their whole bag. Do you hear me? She asked me if I want to save my card on file. Thank you. No.
Like classic. Yeah, man. Look at him going crazy over there in Cali. Let's watch one more.
Crazy. Is this fucking...
Yeah, so anyway, it just continues on. Same people, same 2/3 niggas being niggas. Of course, taking advantage of that law in which, like I mentioned before, who would want to stop these shoplifters anyway and put yourself in harm? Well, now the employer cannot mandate the workers to do so, and you got niggas that take advantage of it, walking straight up in the stores and stealing. Even in the Nike store, you have people walking in there with no masks, walking in literally with trash bags and walking out, not even running. So this is the world that Esau Edom is striving to create in order to create that order out of chaos and eventually implement his new world order. And so we're seeing the beginning of Jacob's trouble, the beginning of sorrows. And so we're going to start reading here in the book of 2 Esdras 15. It says in verse 14, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." Now remember, this is a prophecy, a vision that Esdras is getting at this time. So he's seeing people with guns in their hands, and the only way that he could describe that in the words that he knew was a sword. So the modern day sword is the gun. That's what Ezra saw. "For there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Meaning people are going to be doing whatever they please to do, whatever they want because of the times. And we're seeing that a little bit right now. Because stealing, theft from a store is still illegal. It's not like it was made illegal, but they're doing it because of the decree that was made in California this past May. But people don't care. So they're disobeying the law. And of course, as these times get worse and the closer we get to Jacob's trouble, it's only going to exacerbate from there. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." So you're going to have cities blocked off. They're going to be quarantined. We saw a little bit of that because of the pandemic back in 2020. Once again, we're just in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation." And all this is coming very, very soon. We're not prophesying of times afar off. No, all of this will be happening in mine, in our lifetime, in our generation. So we're talking about famine, and with famine comes cannibalism. Of course, because there is famine, there's going to be looting and rioting and stealing. No one listening to the police. As a matter of fact, I'll be damned if 911 even works in that time. These police chief officers, whoever, they're going to be worrying about how to feed and protect their own family in that time. So it's going to be a lawless society, nothing but anarchy. But we're seeing the beginning stages, and we're seeing how Esau, Edom, is creating that kind of scenario. Now, it said great tribulation. I want to jump over here to the book of Jeremiah, because I think I mentioned it one time. But basically what we read is a description of Jacob's trouble that Jeremiah talked about. Jeremiah 30, verse 6 and 7. "Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." Right, so even your so-called strong, mighty men, they're going to be frightened and afraid in that time. That's what that's going into. Verse 7. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it." Remember, we read 2 Esdras 15, verse 19. At the very end, it says, "Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great. Both of these are referring to the same time, to end time prophecy, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, meaning the Israelites, today so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The he is referring to the elect, those that have been predestined to receive salvation before the foundation of the earth was even created. Predestination. He or they, the elect, should be saved out of it. And I wanted to bring up one last precept just because this really hits home concerning the law that was pushed and what's happening because of it. Isaiah 10 verse 1. And of course we can, these things, they relate to today as well. So Isaiah 10 verse 1 says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and the right grievousness which they have prescribed. And so this definitely also relates to what's happening right now, and specifically the video we just watched. When you mandate or when you create a law that says that employers cannot mandate that employees working for them have to confront shoplifters, the thing is, no one wants to confront them anyway, right? Now, I don't know if people were getting fired because of it. Like, hey, I'm your manager, go stop the shoplifter. They said no, and then the manager fired them. Maybe that was taking place. Who knows? Either way, no one in their right mind would say something like that. But when you put out that kind of a law, it puts it in people's minds to say, hey, you know what? No one's going to stop me. I can go up in there. I can do whatever I want. I don't even have to cover my face, dummies, because there are cameras. But I'm going to walk in with a trash bag. I'm going to walk out, whatever. The law is unrighteous because it influences evil behavior. And that's Esau, Edom for you. But of course, we know why he's doing these things. He's trying to have control over the Most High's creations. He wants to keep the Israelites down under him, and of course the entire world as slaves as well. So he creates a problem and then brings in his so-called solution. That's order out of chaos, trying to bring in his so-called micro CHIP and put it into the entire world. Who knows? He's probably also trying to create those, what are they called? 15-minute cities. Everything that you need is within 15 minutes. Grocery stores, the airport, what else? Mail, the post office, everything, the library, all of it. Right, so, and then who knows? People in the comments of those videos were also saying that they believe the world is going towards not even having retail stores, just everything online. I can see it. If that's in Esau's plans, I can see it, but we'll see. All that matters is that the Lord has given us the understanding of prophecy, and we know what times we're living in, and so our job is just to build up our spirit and to increase our faith through prayer, fasting, and reading. So I pray that this was edifying to the elect. Call Aloyim, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.